In this video, we're going to build a shortcode plugin that uses OB start. So on my other shortcode and plugin videos, I've not really used OB start. I've just returned the content for the plugin. And I didn't use OB start because I didn't want to complicate even more things in the video. But in this video, I want to explain what OB start is and why you would want to use it. So we're going to build a plugin that is a shortcode that we can use anywhere in the site, and I'm going to show you guys how to return the content that is kind of HTML and stuff like that that would usually break a shortcode, and I'll explain that when we get into the plugin. So let's get started. So we're here on the ideapro.io site that we do testing and tutorials and stuff like that with. We're on the dashboard here. We're just using the 2021 default theme that comes with WordPress. So in the code over here, we're going to create a new plugin, and we're going to put this plugin under our plugins directory. So we're going to say new folder, and it's going to be OB start plugin example. There we go. So we got that new folder. Let's open that plugin up here. All right, OB start plugin example, and then we're going to do a new file in this folder, and it needs to be named the same as the folder. So OB start plugin example.php. Hit enter, and then we're going to open up some PHP brackets here, and we're going to do a comment, and we're going to say plugin name OB start example plugin, and then a description, just an example using OB start. All right, and then we can put a version number in here, version 1.0. I always just like to put a version in there so we know where we're at on the plugin. Of course, this is just a example plugin that we'll delete after this video. All right, so we're going to save that. We're going to come over to our dashboard here, and when I save that, it automatically uploads it to the server, and we're doing that through Sublime Text 3 and the SFTP plugin through WP Bond. So I get a lot of questions on what I'm using to upload those files. So if we go over here to plugins, now we have this OB start example plugin here, just an example using OB start and version 1.0. So we're going to activate that plugin. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to create a shortcode. So we're going to create a function OB example shortcode. All right. And then after this function, we're going to say add shortcode, and it's going to be OB example, and that's what we're going to call on the page, and I'll show you that in just a second. This second argument here is our function name, and you can call this function whatever you want as long as you put that in the secondary argument here for the callback. So OB example, spell that right. So now this is going to equal this, and it's going to return whatever's here. Okay, so if we save this and we come over, we refresh this page, let's deactivate our plugin. All right, so we refresh, everything's good. Let's activate the plugin, and the plugin still activates and there's no problem. We're going to deactivate it. We're going to come over here and we're going to output some stuff. We're going to say hello world. We're going to save that, and we're going to come back over here and we're going to activate our plugin, and everything works. And that's because the page isn't calling that, the activation isn't calling that shortcode. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use this shortcode. So we're going to come over here to pages, and we're going to go to the sample page, and we're going to scroll down the sample page down here right after this, and we're going to add a new block, and that new block is going to be a shortcode. So 2 brackets there, and then our OB example. All right, so now we're going to go back up here to the top, and if we hit update, it's going to break the site. It says updating failed. The response is not a valid JSON. And the reason that is because our plugin here is echoing out hello world. And so that's going to break anything on trying to update a page or a post in WordPress. If we turn this off, save, and then come over here and update, now it updated because that plugin is no longer outputting anything to the screen. Okay, so if we leave this in here, save that, come over, and let's just refresh the page. Refresh so that we can get a new page here. All right, sample, let's change something in here. So we get our update button, update, and here it is, update failed because we're now outputting it to the page. Okay, so how do we output that and fix it? All right, so let's do this. Let's go in and let's say we're going to add a new file, and this is our html.php. So we're creating a new file called html.php, and that's inside the same folder as our plugin, right? So over here, we can come in and we can say include html.php, right? And so then over here, we're going to save that, and right here, we're going to say, not echo, we're just going to say hello world. Okay. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to refresh this page, reload. All right, we're going to make a few changes here, and we're going to say update. Oh, look, we broke it again. Even though in this function, we're not echoing anything out to the page, we're including this page, which does echo out to the page. So how we can fix that is we can wrap all this in a OB start function. Okay, so we do OB start, and then anything that goes after that is going to be in the OB start buffer. So what OB start is it's a buffer for anything that you want to output to the page. So we're going to collect everything in that OB start. So we can now come underneath here and we want to say data, whoops. Sorry about that, I messed up my function there. Data, or we can call this variable results, or we can call it response, we can call it whatever we want. We can call it a string if we wanted to call it a string. You can call it whatever we want. We're going to, in our example, we're going to call it data, and we're going to say data is equal to OB get contents, like that. And then under here, we need to say OB end clean. And what that OB end clean does is it flushes out all that information that's in the buffer. So you don't want to keep all that information in the buffer because it'll eventually eat up the RAM on the server and the server will shut down. So we want to keep that clean. So we say OB end clean to remove any of that data that's in the buffer. So now we've put everything from include.html into this data. Right? So if we save this and we come over to our page here, we refresh, reload. All right, it says there's an auto save, blah, blah, blah. We want to make some changes in here and we're going to click update. And so let's get rid of that. So now our page is actually updated. So now if we look at, we've got our shortcode down here. If we go to the page and we refresh the page, our shortcode isn't showing down here at all. And the reason why is because we still haven't returned that data. So if we come down here and we can say return data. So we're returning this data here. So we can hit save. We can come back over to our page, refresh the page. All right, we'll make some changes in here so that we have an update button, hit update. Boom, and now our page is saved. And so if we come back over here and we hit refresh, now we have hello world right here coming from our hello world html.php page. So we're able to use anything from this page onto in that shortcode. And if you're doing something simple like this, where it's just hello world, that's not a problem at all. You could we want to refresh. There we go. If we wanted to not use OB start, we could just say data is equal to hello world. Let's get rid of this too, comment all that out. So data is equal to hello world, and we're returning that data, and we hit refresh and world, hello world. Let's do hello world, I am here. Whoops. So it's a little bit different than our HTML page. So refresh, and if we come over here and we make some changes on this page that includes our shortcode and we hit update, it's still going to update and it's not going to cause a problem because we're returning this data here. We're not echoing it out to the screen. Again, if we change this to echo, come back over here, make a few changes and hit update, now it breaks. We're going to break it because it's now echoing that data out. So if we say data like that, and then we're returning that data, it's going to work. So same thing, by including files, we can now include that file like this, come back over, and we're going to update, and now it works. It saves perfectly fine. We can come back over here and refresh, and here is our hello world. Now on this HTML.php page, we can create, an HTML. We can do whatever we want to do. So let's do a div, and then let's do a span, and we can say hello world here. And in this span, we can say style. Font size is 48 pixels. I don't recommend doing this inline CSS, just doing this as an example. Color is red, right? So now if we save that, we come back over here and we refresh. Now we've got hello world here, and it's big and in red. Now you see we put this div in here and it automatically brings it into the center. This theme, it automatically does that. If you put it outside of a div, it will throw it to the far left side of the screen. So now we have font size, color red. All this works without breaking the actual site. Now if we come in here and we turn off all this OB start and all the OB information, we save this and we're just including this HTML, and we reload the page, it's no longer down here. It's up here at the top. And I've said this on shortcode videos that I've made before. Whenever you echo a shortcode out to the page, it's going to be the first thing that shows up. When you return it, then it will actually show up where you want it to. So let's go into our page here. Let's turn this off so that we can save our page. I want to move this function up a little bit, or this shortcode up. So I'm going to move it in between some of these paragraphs here, and we're going to hit update. Now we turned off anything echoing out, so it's not going to work. But if we come in here and we comment this back out, hello world, see how it's at the very, very top? Now if we wanted to say data, hello world, I'm here, and we return this data, that shortcode is now going to be in the middle. Here it is, in the middle of the page where we did that shortcode. So if we put this in a div, whoops, not div, div, and then close this div here and refresh, see how it jumps over here to the center? This is what this theme does. Okay, so now our shortcode is showing up in between these paragraphs where we want it to. If we comment this out, turn back on the OB start, include that file, turn on all the OB stuff, and save. Now we're returning the HTML.php file, and then we come over here and refresh. Right there is our hello world. Again, it's going to show up where we put it on the actual page. So hope that didn't confuse you too much. We can get rid of this here. I will make this file, let's clean this up a little bit. I like it to be a little cleaner than that. All right, I'll put this file down in the description so that you guys can download it and play with it and update it and do things that you want to do. And this gives you a good idea of how to use OB start, and that you can put anything into a page and include that page in a function or in a shortcode without breaking the entire site. Hope you guys like this video. Like and subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next tutorial. Thanks.